Good evening, welcome to the Buck Stops here. I'm Vishnu Shom. And on the show this evening, with two major generals under CBI investigation for corruption and a host of corruption-related cases reported almost every year, we ask, how deep is the rot? Is the much-admired image of the army a myth? Also on the program tonight, the Maharashtra government grants the film star and BJP MP Hema Malini a 2,000 square meter piece of prime land in Mumbai for a dance academy. The market rate is at least 2 crores. She gets it for 70,000 rupees. On the show tonight, 2,000 square meters of prime plot for just 70,000 rupees. Is this largesse for the BJP MP? But first, our top story, corruption in the Indian Army. It's a sad reality. Perhaps our most respected national institution faces, some would say, an acute image crisis each and every time a major case of corruption is reported. And it's been reported again. Two major generals of the army face a CBI inquiry over acquiring wealth disproportionate to their known sources of income. Remember, an army officer is allowed to have only one source of income, his or her salary. There are also allegations of a promotion racket involving these generals and a third one who retired last year. So while we will not name names over here, everyone is innocent until they are proven guilty. We will ask questions, not just on this case, but of what has become a very sad pattern over years, perhaps decades. Joining us on the program tonight, General V.P. Malik, the former Army Chief, will be with us. Lieutenant General Raj Kadyan, the former Deputy Chief of Army Staff, with us. We'll also be joined by GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP and Sanjay Jha of the Congress. So let me come to you first. Is it, in your opinion, an embarrassment for the army that they would clear these two officers for appointment to the post of Lieutenant General only to have their okay shot down by the Defence Ministry?
Vishnu, first of all, any case of corruption that comes to light is a sad development. It is even sadder when this happens in an institution like army, which is known for institutional integrity of the highest order. Now, your question, at the time they were cleared for promotion. If this was already known, then it is certainly not correct to put them through the promotion and approve them. But if it came to light later, or it was not known to the board, special selection board, which is the army chief and all the army commanders, then I don't think it can be faulted. They have come up in their own right, based on their record.
Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, this information yesterday was leaked in a sense to journalists from the Defence Ministry, that there is a CBI inquiry which has been ordered by the Defence Minister. Was it really necessary for the government to do this? What is the message the government was trying to send out? Because if there was a CBI inquiry which was required, why wasn't the CBI left to announce it? Or on the other hand, why wasn't it put on the PIB website? Why wasn't an official press release not given? Why leak information as sensitive as this? What is the message?
Vishnu, I cannot go by the statement that you made that this was leaked by the ministry. I have no such information, and this is not a government where any information is leaked. In fact, you know how this government has really proceeded against officials in different ministries when cases of information leaking out came to the knowledge of the government. So certainly I cannot accept the fact, I cannot accept what you say. If there is any evidence of that,
why is there not a single media source, either in the electronic media or in the print media, naming an official in the Defence Ministry, whether it is the Defence Secretary, the spokesperson, or the Minister himself? Why is everything sources?
No, I think as a journalist, I think you will have to probe this. As a party spokesperson, I can only say that our government is committed to ensuring there is absolutely no corruption at any level. Zero tolerance against corruption is the policy of this government. So any knowledge that comes to the government, any information that comes in the that comes the way of the government will certainly ensure.
Absolutely, and the fight against corruption goes without saying.
And there is.
That goes without saying. Mr. Rao, I just want to ask you one more point before I move on to my other panelists. The army has its own very established set of protocols to deal with corruption cases. Now, if the government at the level of the Defence Ministry found that there was something irregular, couldn't it have asked the army to go ahead and institute its own fresh inquiry perhaps? Why did it need to go to the CBI? Is it a lack of trust in institutions within the army?
No, I think certainly the government wanted some investigative agency outside the ministry, outside the government to investigate this. Possibly that is the reason. I am not fully, I am not privy to any more facts than what has been published in the media or the newspapers. So I'm not in a position to give you any more answers. Certainly the ministry, government want to ensure that that there are no corrupt practices in any wing of the government, and certainly an investigation by a specialized agency is a much better way of ascertaining the truth than keeping the probe within the organization.
That's an important point. That's exactly, sir, what I was asking you. At one level, this is an indicator of the Defence Ministry not trusting the institution, the army. Now, it is fair that what's wrong with giving it to an independent institution. But when one speaks about the army, there is an assumption that it will have integrity as its benchmark and would have been capable of ordering and completing its own inquiry. Why does it have to go outside?
I fully agree with you, Vishnu. There was no need for it to go outside. Army has its systems. When they investigate, even if an outside witness is involved, they have the power, legal power to call him. So army should have been entrusted with the task. The unfortunate part is, no matter which party is in power, the government is run by bureaucracy. And they have vested interest, they have all the power and no accountability. Now, whatever we are asking question from the BJP, nobody is going to ask the bureaucrats. They never face anything. They are the one who actually misuse the power. The ministers don't even come to know about it. All these leaks and all, it's
so,
my
sir,
conviction.
The army's defense, in a sense, is that, look, there is corruption in the bureaucracy as well, so don't just blame us.
No, I am not saying that. I am not saying that. A case like this, if it has been leaked, it is not leaked by the defense minister. The leak would have been by the bureaucracy. I can quote very authentically.
So why would
misuse of power by the bureaucracy, who have no accountability, have all the power.
The bureaucracy deliberately leaked this information because of this divide that exists between the Defence Ministry and the armed forces?
No, Vishnu, the point is, if you take this case, there were 33 major journals being considered for promotion. Only 3 were approved.
Cleared.
So therefore, the competition is very tough. There are rivals who would be patronizing some of the bureaucrats. It happens, it's a human nature. I am not saying it has happened in this case, but that is a very great possibility that they have rivals. After all, it's a very tough competition. Some people who don't make it, they will be frustrated, and out of frustration, they are the ones who patronize the bureaucrats and have these information leaks.
Sanjay Jha, would you say that the way that the minister has done it, he has found an allegation of corruption, he's deemed it to be serious enough, he's passed it on to the agency he considers appropriate? Is this the only way to fight corruption at this level? Go to the CBI?
You know, Vishnu, I think it is a sensitive matter because it concerns the armed forces, and I think as somebody rightly pointed out earlier on your channel, I mean, when there is a corruption allegation in the armed forces, I mean, people who are considered to be with flawless, impeccable credentials, then, you know, one is definitely, you know, very deeply disturbed. Now, having said that, I do think, you know, that there is a very serious issue here. If, you know, you're finding all kinds of very authored leaks entering the space of media. And don't forget, as far as the CBI is concerned, there is enough evidence over the last 2 years, and you are aware of it, where the CBI, we all know, is working under severe government pressure based on their own political convenience. So Mr. Rao to believe that the CBI or the defense minister to believe that that's a dispassionate, neutral investigative agency, I think there will be serious question marks. As far as the army issue is concerned, there is no doubt about it. There have been, you know, some crucial cases that have been talked about is corruption. There was something in the National Defense Academy recruitment scam that you might be aware of. But more important, I'm surprised how this government hasn't instituted an inquiry into that very serious allegation I remember that General V.K. Singh had made against one of his fellow contemporaries in the
Tatra
trucks,
trucks issue, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So are we now trying to bury those down in the deep sand while we are suddenly beginning to, become holier
Now,
than
I know
thou on
Mr.
issues
I know
that
Mr.
ought to
GVL
be left for
Narasimha
an
Rao will want to
institutional
come
mechanism
in,
of
but
the
I
defense
actually want to before I go across to Mr. Rao, go back to General Kadian, and I hope we can get General Malik up because I really must go across to him sooner than later. So the question is, why look at only this case? It's it's shocking, sir. There was General V.K. Singh, allegations of a former Lieutenant General allegedly bribing him. That of course went into the courts. An allegation last year of a distribution of health benefits for servicemen, ex-servicemen, contributory health scheme, apparently a 400 crore scam. In 2012, there was the infamous Sukna land scam. The CBI registered a case against a former vice chief for allegedly conspiring with a builder. There was action taken on that case. The Adarsh housing scam. We've heard of a ketchup colonel, a booze brigadier, and a ration general. This is an institution more than any other institution the country feels proud about, and yet you have this. So are we misplaced?
Vishnu, let me put
in our
it as
pride?
bluntly as I can. To assume that everybody who wears the army uniform is a Harishchandra is a wrong perception. Where does the army man come from? He joins the army when he is only about 20. What has he seen in the society? It's all corruption.
But he's supposed to be insulated
One
from
minute.
that.
He is supposed to be, yes. Army, because of its high level of training, because of its culture, because of stringent laws and strict enforcement, can control a person's behavior, but they cannot change the person's character. Moment he gets a chance, if the man is corrupt, if the corruption in his DNA, which he has acquired in the first
Corruption
20
is a
years.
DNA related issue.
Yeah, why not? If the whole society is corrupt, the army is not an island. Army people come from the society, they go back to the
sir,
society. You mentioned Tatra case, of course, that was a retired Lieutenant General. I wish General V.K. Singh had not let him move out and got him arrested there only. For some reason, he moved out. If he was corrupt, I am still saying, whether these two Major Generals or NDA Commandant or anybody, most strict punishment should be given, and army does give punishment.
Okay.
But in an army of 13 lakhs, these cases will take place.
All right, we'll just go across to General VP Malik in a moment from now. Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, let me come to you next. On the one hand, you've got General Raj Kadian, who says that, look, the armed forces and the army is a reflection of society at large. On the other hand, there is a sense that the people who are involved are colonels, brigadiers, major generals, lieutenant general, and it goes up the chain. These are highly educated people, they're trained people, they're experienced people, they know the laws of the land, and the number of cases are very large. Do you not believe that proportionately the number of cases needs to be far less than it has been reported over at least the last 1 decade?
Vishnu, I truly believe we have one of the finest armed forces. So I refuse to believe that this is a big rot or widespread. I think these are possibly a journalistic way of portraying things. Certainly, in every profession, in every field of life, there are bound to be some officers, wayward officers, and it is the duty of this government. Also, it is the belief of this government that you must really eliminate such cases of corruption, so that you can really totally root out this from professions like the army. We are very proud of our armed forces, and but an investigation by an outside agency will only on matters of disproportionate assets.
All right, I want to go across to General Malik.
Is not something that the armed forces would want to investigate.
Sure.